movement of cows in the city of Douala has been banned by the governor of the littoral region, Samuel Ivaha Dibois. This decision has been welcomed by residents who have a long complaint about the frequent presence of cows, herds on major streets, leading to traffic congestion and accidents. A recent incident just 2 days ago near Texaco Airport, close to the Douala International Airport, where there was an accident that left one person dead. Will come gas. Annoyance and confusion among the population. Christy Ayare tells us more.
3 days after a fatal accident caused by rumbling cars here at Texaco Airport, cars still roam the area without any shepherd to guide them. The cars are really persecuting us. I always roll with my tricycle, and wherever you go, you always see them, being Brother Saint or you pray. These wandering cars have been responsible for several accidents and traffic disruptions, with numerous individuals falling victim to their presence. Despite numerous complaints and pleas from the population, it appears that the authorities have turned a deaf ear to this pressing issue. We are tired of calling on the help of the authorities. See how cars are just roaming the city. The silence exhibited by the city authorities of Douala in the face of this increasing dangerous phenomenon has become complicit.
And 2 weeks after the murder of 25-year-old land surveyor Sandra Lorraine Amanfo, living loved ones are awaiting autopsy to shed light on the circumstances surrounding her death.
15 days after the tragic death of Sandra Lorraine Mafu, a 25-year-old land surveyor, her family in Gombe has chosen to suspend their mourning. The abrupt loss of Mafu, who was found murdered in Gombe's 5th district, has left her relatives in limbo as they await the results of the ongoing autopsy to shed light on the circumstances surrounding her demise. Investigations are ongoing, but we are still awaiting an autopsy result. A day before yesterday, I was called that the file has been dropped at the General Hospital, meaning a medical doctor will leave the hospital to the Lokbaba District Hospital. Reason why the autopsy results are still awaited. Mafo's family has found solace in the support extended by her employers, who stand in solidarity with them, echoing their call for justice to be served. However, the details surrounding Mafo's untimely death remain shrouded in mystery as authorities, including the gendarmerie commander, her lawyer called me on phone, but I've never reached my home. Keep telling me that they'll do everything for her killers to be arrested. Sandra Lorraine Manfo was discovered lifeless in Gombe, where she had been working as a surveyor on a construction site before her disappearance. The community, still reeling from the shock of a tragic end, remains vigilant, awaiting answers and justice.
And the town of Bamenda, northwest region of Cameroon, has once again been paralyzed by a lockdown today, Thursday. Traffic, circulation, educational and economic activities have remained short. Separatist fighters, like last Thursday, say they are mourning some of their commanders killed by the military. Even calls from some of their leaders based abroad cancelling the ghost town of today have fallen on deaf ears. Security forces, however, remain discreetly present around major road junctions in town to ward off any eventuality. We'll come back to that in our subsequent editions of Newscast. And in response to the alarming increase in youth addiction to alcohol, tobacco, and other harmful substances, the Cameroonian Consumer Foundation, FOCA, organized an educational talk this Thursday at Lycée Jos here in Cameroon's economic hub. The talks aim to raise awareness about the damaging effects of these substances on minors, while also encouraging students to approach their parents for support in case of any concerns. More in the following report with our student journalist on internship, Christy Aya Array.
Educators have revealed that almost 21% of students are exposed to drug addiction each year. In order to address this concerning trend, the Cameroonian Consumer Foundation, FOCACO, has taken the initiative to sensitize students about the dangers of harmful substances. Almost 21% of students have access to drugs. The number is really frightful. It's a big deal for us to present to these children the danger of this, and it's also a means to invite the government to stop the proliferation of alcohol and other hard drugs. Peer pressure and depression are said to be one of the major causes that pushes youth into addiction.
Bad company, stress in the family, lack of love can push people to get involved in drug. So you live in a very loving environment, less likely you'll be exposed to drugs.
Parents are encouraged to play an active role by fostering open communication, establishing healthy boundaries, and setting positive examples for their children. We try to advise them on how to safeguard themselves, and in doing that, they have to go closer to their parents, which is said to be their first advisor. Parents are the highest person to protect their children from any bad environment. I learned that we need to stay away from drugs because it doesn't help us in anything, and we must take our study very serious. The campaign, which began in the littoral region, is said to extend to other regions as well.
And despite promises from the Ministry of Trade to decrease or rise prices, vendors and consumers in Douala, Cameroon are still grappling with high costs and scarcity of the staple product, with assurances of relief following the arrival of 190,000 tons of rice negotiated with the Indian government. Market realities paints a different picture, leaving many frustrated and disillusioned. Gladys Ambodibang has the rest of that story.
In markets across concern among both vendors and consumers, despite a public announcement from the Minister of Trade on April 11 promising a drop in the prices of rice, the cost remains stubbornly high. Vendors lament the scarcity of high-quality Thai rice, with the majority of available stock being 5% Indian or Pakistani rice, which is both of inferior quality and expensive.
The bag of 100% Thai rice is scarce. What we have in the market is 5% Indian rice and Pakistani rice, which is not of good quality and it's expensive. The few bags of 50 kilograms which we find in the markets sell at between 27,500 francs and 28,000 francs. Last month, rice was scarce. A bag of 50 kilograms of rice in the market varied between 24,000 and 27,000 francs. Buyers are angry that we are increasing the prices, whereas the cost price is equally high.
Despite the Minister of Trade's pledge to intervene, the prices remain unchanged, leaving many feeling disillusioned. The soaring prices is a burden for many households reliant on rice as a dietary staple and who are struggling with economic challenges. It was announced that the prices of rice will drop, but nothing has changed since then. A cup of rice still sells at 200 CFA francs, which means the prices have remained the same. The list price of a 50-kilogram bag of rice costs 25,000 francs CFA. It is expensive. The recent ministerial decision places the prices of 50-kilogram bags of Indian, Thai, and Pakistani rice to 22,250 to 24,000 francs CFA.
Poultry farmers and animal breeders in the central region of Cameroon can now breathe a sigh of relief as Yaoundé gets a giant feed factory capable of producing tons of feeds daily. The factory, which will also provide employment to hundreds of jobless youths, was inaugurated yesterday by the Minister of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industry. More in the following story with our reporter, Ison Chair.
It is the first of its kind in the central region of Cameroon, a factory of birds and animal feeds capable of producing tons in an hour.
Production is capacity of 20 tons an hour, which means about 100,000 metric tons per year, depending on the market who will, I hope and I'm sure, will be developing itself. So this is a completely new unit, as you can see, with high capacity of storage, with high capacity of production. So I think this is really a good thing that in Cameroon we can help to produce this feed. We can help the people who raise chickens, pigs, fish, whatever kind of animal which we can feed with this new unit.
Located at the Olembe neighborhood in Yaoundé and inaugurated on April 24th by the Minister of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries, Dr. Tiger, who lauded the initiative as that geared towards boosting home production.
It's the best way to implement the import substitution.
The initiative, started years ago by Jean Samuel Nushegang of blessed memories, comes as a relief to business operators and poultry farmers, but insufficient raw materials remain a major worry.
There is a real need of maize for such industries. So we are satisfied in one way to learn that we will not have to import again chicken. But in the other way, we learn that we have to do a lot about maize.
The giant factory is also serving as a cure of unemployment to young Cameroonians, with over 105 youths gainfully employed.
And the quality of Cameroon's judicial system is scary to many business people and potential investors. From a legal standpoint, it is difficult for the courts to enforce contractual obligations, which become frustrating, and so the American Chamber of Commerce Cameroon is fighting to better the situation. More Kejan Henry Atembe.
Enforcing a contractual obligation in any court in Cameroon requires the strength of heckles to comprehend. Lawyers and their clients have concluded that if the court cannot enforce contractual decisions, then there is no reason for doing business in the country. It is hinged on this lack of public confidence in the judiciary that the American Chamber of Commerce Cameroon, in collaboration with the Abeng law firm, decided to tackle best practices and strategies for efficient contract enforcement in the country.
The idea is today, let's say, to advocate and inform people on the issue of enforcing contracts, so that both our government and both citizens as well know that enforcing the execution of contracts, this is one of the issues we have to address.
Many have opined that for any aircraft that leaves Cameroon every day, there is someone on board who is frustrated and has vowed not to come back because of the business climate. This is because it is so difficult to recover money from contracts that people have signed.
There are situations where people get into contracts knowing they will not enforce them. How do you go to sell cocoa and coffee when you do not have cocoa and coffee, and you take the funds and you sign the contract and you use Cameroon like a bunker, because those foreign investors cannot come and pursue you here. So those are some of the things we have. First of all, the business people have to be conscientious. We need a conscientious business society. We need a court system that is operational, that is functional, that is not corrupt. And of course, we need to be able to have other aspects that will facilitate doing business climate.
According to a great revelation from World Bank, Cameroon has the highest number of days to enforce a legally binding agreement between parties that can be upheld in a court of law.
With heavy rains already battling cities in Cameroon, many will suffer, or localities will suffer from frequent floods leading to loss of lives and property. Different stakeholders in the city of Yaoundé are taking measures to sensitize the population on tackling unfortunate incidents as well as other catastrophes. More in the following story.
Donc, cas d'inondation grave dans le secteur de la vallée des Bobos. C'est précisément à la descente de la rue Foué.
A call to alert the rescue mission about a flooding situation in this neighborhood after heavy rains. With an appropriate description of the area, the emergency elements appear in few minutes. And while at the spot, they will take necessary dispositions to rescue the victims engulfed by overflowed water, taking them out of the danger zone. First aid is administered on the suffering individuals, with a special attention given to critical cases, and some rushed to the hospital. The cry is loud as others lost their lives before the arrival of the Civil Protection Rescue Unit. We are at the Lebogo neighborhood, Yaoundé 5 subdivision, and this is just a scene to sensitize the population on managing catastrophes.
What we want to achieve is to help the population to be able to manage an emergency like a flood, a landslide, and like a fire.
An initiative with different stakeholders like the Red Cross, with a push from the Association of Francophone Mayors.
And that's how we saw it on this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is the brief with Lil Pressure. Take another rendezvous with me, same time tomorrow night.